Alright, so we're going to start off with a roll, 2 side hops, and a backflip. That's not, you don't have to do that. I just like doing that because it's being in the same spot. You can also just run over here. It's not very precise where you stand or where you rang, clearly. I kind of just go over here and then I rang at this little structure here. I try to aim upwards so that I have enough time to get over here. So yeah, I rang over there, do a few rolls, and then I usually catch the pot. Try not to be in a roll while the pot comes back or you won't catch it. So then I try to line up at this corner here. It's not super precise. And then I try to aim such that the C icon is aimed towards this little black splotch on the wall right here. And then once it is, I'm going to start moving forward. And then I stop once Link's feet are kind of in line with this blue splotch right here. I'm going to drop the pot, pick up the second one. And then what I want to do here is if you drew a line from this chain to this pot, like that's the kind of line you want to put the next pot under. So I'm going to try to line it up as best I can. And then I'm going to go over here. You kind of want to get on this little blue ledge right here to not break this pot. And then I try to aim right above the edge of this thing. This pot can break sometimes, but it's not a huge deal because there's a fifth pot you can take. But yeah, I grab that pot. I go over to the edge so it doesn't break. Then I kind of try to place the next pot in that line, just like with the second one. I'm being extra careful here. Then this isn't as precise. I'm just gonna kind of go to the edge right here. You can also be like right there. It's fine. Then ring right at the bottom of the pot to try to catch it high in the ring. Catch it, and then so this time I'm gonna line up like I'm going to place this pot the same, and I am. But since I'm about to move it just now, I'm not going to be super careful about it. So then I'm going to just kind of nudge it to the right. And then when you see this line visible, which is the same as this line, once you see that like completely visible and unobstructed, then you know you've nudged this pot to the right far enough. The pot placements aren't like super precise, but they are relatively precise. So now I'm going to go head up to the front pot. I'm going to try to line myself up with the middle of this pot right here. And once I do that, I'm going to turn around and face the chain. I guess I set it up pretty well because now I'm facing directly at the chain. This is the angle you want. So now I have the angle I want. I'm going to target walk to the side. This part isn't super precise, but I'm going to the side and try to, if you want a cue, here's a little line right here. Just line Link's foot up with that line. Once I do that, I'm going to go into first person. And then I'm going to try to aim at the middle of the screen. So this is easy with pointer off. You're already aiming at the middle of the screen. But if you want to know where the middle is with pointer on, it's like the top of the B button lined up with the right side of Link's hat. That's where the middle is. So aim right there. I'm going to do a target, and then this isn't the second one isn't that precise. I'm just kind of aiming to the side so that the ring takes longer to get to you, so I have time to set up. And then I'm going to target 3 more times after that. The only reason we don't target just once is because we want to have enough time to get set up and pick up the pot. So it's not strictly necessary, but yeah. Now I'm going to try to go as best as I can. I was a little bit right here, but I'm going to try to go as best as I can to line myself back up with the center of this pot like I was before. Then pick it up. And then I'm going to wait, and I'm going to try to buffer until, do you see this little blue line we're standing on earlier? When this ring is like on it or a little bit past it, that's a good spot to buffer to. So like, yeah, the right there is pretty good. And then while the item wheel is open, I'm going to hold down such that I'm going to be running downwards straight out of the buffer. And yeah, so now I'm going to jump. And right when I jump, I'm going to equip Lantern. You can also pull Sword, it doesn't matter. I just like equipping Lantern because it's easier than timing a motion input. But right as Link jumps, drop the pot by equipping the Lantern. And then he should get pushed a little bit by that, by doing that. And yeah, then you should grab onto here, and that was the hard part. This part's really easy. This isn't precise at all. I'm just kind of aiming it to the opposite of this door. Place 2 bombs on this half of the platform, and then move to the other side. I try to get relatively close to the edge, and then yeah, just jump off. One thing to note about this part is if you go too early, you can like end up sliding here. So just be careful about that. So I kind of deliberately wait a little bit. And yeah. And if a pot breaks, you need another one. Or if you just want to do it with 5 pots, which does make it a little bit easier. Just go to this ledge right here and then aim at this corner right here. Should always pick up the pot without breaking. And just make sure you're facing this way when you catch the pot. And yeah,